and welcome to Beyond Borders, the LU Off-Campus Programs podcast. My name is Lillian Sandberg. I'm your host, and today I have two wonderful guests with me. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
I'll go first. Okay, my name is Katie, and this year I'm working for Off-Campus Programs as the Senegal Student Assistant. So I'll be working on promoting the Senegal program. I just got back from Senegal this fall, actually. I was there for spring term last year.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Clara, and I'm this work for Off-Campus Programs as the student assistant for the London Center. So I was there for winter and spring term of 2025. So I just also got back.
Perfect. Well, I'm so grateful that both of you are here with me today. And I guess we can start by, how do you like your position so far at Off-Campus Programs? I won't tell your boss. They won't see it. You can be honest.
I'm really enjoying it so far. Study Abroad Week was a little chaotic to kick off the position. But since then, since having all that experience making all those posters and stuff, I feel very ready and prepared to make my own events and my own posters for my own program and help out more in the office.
Nice.
So,
yeah, I've also been having a blast. I really miss London, so this job is kind of reconnecting me in a sort of way that I feel a little homesick towards London right now. So like just kind of bringing all those memories back is a nice experience.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna dive in and start by giving me an overview of each of your guys' respective programs. Just the broad, this is what I need to know in order to better understand your experience.
Okay, so the Senegal program, it goes every other year, spring term, so it will be going again next spring, April 2027. Wow, it seems so far away, but it's actually way closer than it is. So it is a francophone seminar, which means that we speak French the whole time. Senegal is a French-speaking country, so it is required that if you want to study abroad in Senegal, you have to take up to French 202, which is just one more class than the intro classes. And basically, I don't know, I had the best time. You live with a host family while you're there, which really immerses you in the language, but also Senegalese culture. And it was super cool to live in a non-Western country and a non-English speaking country because there's just so many things that are different. There are so many things that you take for granted in your everyday here that just completely fly out the window when you're there. And it's such a good learning experience. So if you're interested in Senegal, just know that it's a lot of change, but for all the best reasons. Like I learned so much from being there. The food is amazing. The culture is amazing. Everything's wonderful. Yeah.
And so when you say non-English speaking,
yes,
you technically all of our European programs are non-English speaking. So can you kind of explain the difference in what you mean?
Yes. So Senegal as a francophone country, no one there really speaks English at all. So your options are French or you don't talk. And I mean, some of the staff at the center that we were at spoke English, but it was very much heavily encouraged that we were immersed in French and speaking French the whole time. And then also while we were there, there are also some native languages that are spoken in Senegal. So we had the opportunity to learn Wolof, which is spoken by a large percentage of the population. I don't know the exact number, so I'm not going to say it, but you have the option to speak in French or Wolof, and it's kind of a sink or swim moment, but my language got so much better.
Yeah.
Like I'm so much more confident in my French in my classes here, and I can just slip into French whenever I needed to. And I don't know, I love that I have that skill now, because before going abroad, I think I was more hesitant in my speaking, but now I'm way more confident. And so it was really, really good for my language learning.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
Clara.
the London Center.
Yes.
All right, so the London Center runs every term of the year, fall, winter, and spring. And so it's just Lawrence students, so it's a very small program, obviously. And you really do get the opportunity to delve into certain broad topics about London's culture. So it'll be like you'll have a art history class where you'll be going immersive experience. So you'll be learning in museums, learning outside the classroom. So it's a great way to kind of broaden and kind of delve into topics that you are really interested in. And so it's great. London, you don't have to learn any other language.
Right.
So I don't know another language, so that was kind of helpful. It was a good way to go abroad and kind of feel like you were doing something new, but also kind of keeping within a certain like comfortable space. But yeah, and there's a traveling professor every year. So this year it's Professor Megan Pickett, and they're there for this fall term. So those classes are great because it gives each year kind of a specific like flavor. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so this is more science based obviously, but last year it was very English based with Celia Barnes. So that was a great way to experience certain topics in London.
That's awesome. Yeah. So both of your programs are fairly well known for a significant, I don't know if you want to call it traveling or experiences portion, where you're really leaving your classroom behind and sort of adapting to the local culture. Will you tell me a little bit about those sorts of things and what someone can expect going on your program?
Yeah, so Senegal was super cool because every single weekend we had a trip to somewhere outside of Dakar. So Dakar was the main city we were staying in, but every weekend we'd go outside of the city. So our first weekend there, we went to Lac Rose, which is a pink lake because of the salt, and we got to ride camels and, be swimming in a pool, and we got to taste the salt from the lake, which was super cool. We also went to Bob Giallo, which was a little weekend retreat. And we stayed away from our host families for the weekend, just to relax, to reset midway through the term. And then my favorite weekend was the weekend we went to the Jazz Festival in St. Louis. It's really far away from Dakar. It was like a 6-hour drive, which was a little painful, but it was so fun. We all had such a blast. At that point, it was the last weekend we were there, and we were all just so close at that time, me and the other Lawrence students who had gone, because like the London program, you have a Lawrence cohort and then a Lawrence professor that's there with you. And so we were all super close, and we had the best weekend ever. So every single weekend you have to kind of be ready to travel and, have a super cool experience, like making traditional medicine or taking an art class or, doing all these amazing things. But it is something to be expected, that it does get to be kind of a lot. It's a little tiring, but amazing. So
yeah. So at the London Center, a lot of the traveling you would do, or that I did, is kind of solo. So I did a lot of solo trips to different countries, which is great because London is just such a big hub that you can really get anywhere that you'd like. But at the London Center, we do field trips. I know that this year there's a Bath field trip, Stonehenge field trip. So you do get out into those countrysides a lot. But a lot of the out of class experience will be kind of in London. So you'll be at museums, theaters, and so you do get around the city quite a lot, but you don't really get outside of London unless you purposely make those decisions yourself, which I think allows you a lot of freedom, which I really loved.
That's awesome. So something that I normally ask all of the guests is there something that you wish you had known before you left for study abroad that would have made your experience a little bit easier?
I was told that adjustment there would be a huge process, obviously, but I really wasn't aware of how hard it would be to come back. And so I had a lot of friends, because I stayed for 2 terms. I had a lot of friends come back before me, so I kind of really watched them struggle back here. But I didn't realize, because I was gone for so long, how hard it would be to adjust back here, even though London's culture isn't too extreme from the culture of the U.S. But it was a hard process to come back to a big city in Houston, Texas. So it is an adjustment for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was really prepared going into it too. I mean, we got sent a million packing lists and, all the medications that we needed to have and the shots that we needed done, all that stuff. So I felt very prepared, and we also had a class going into the Senegal program in winter term before called Destination Dakar, where every week we would meet and talk about a different aspect of life in Senegal that would probably be different than what we were expecting, which I think was really helpful because I felt super prepared going into such a different culture and living with the host family and, all those things. I do agree. Coming back is harder than you think it's going to be. Like Dakar is such a huge, bustling city, and I came straight back to Appleton from being abroad, and it's so quiet here, and it's just something you don't really realize. I also, something that a lot of people forgot when you go to Senegal, you need to bring your own towels, and no one brought towels. And so, like, our first day, we had to go find towels, and it was kind of a mess because there aren't really, like, big stores in Senegal, or there is one, but we didn't know about it until further into the term where we could have bought a towel. So we had to, like, go to the market, and it was kind of a chaotic experience for the first couple days. But yeah, so bring a towel.
Did you bring the towel back here? Like, do you have your Senegalese towel?
I do. I do have my towel. Yeah, it's yellow. But yeah, all of us had to get towels. It was actually really funny, but that's kind of random. But I wish I had known that.
Yeah. Those are the little things.
Yeah, the little things.
This is what you get for listening to this podcast.
Yes, bring a towel.
So you said that you organized your own, like, sort of solo travel. Where did you end up going in that?
So I went to Milan and Venice in one go, and then I went to Vienna, Austria, and Salzburg as well. And then I went to Iceland, which was amazing, but kind of hard to get to. And then I went to Sicily and Malta. So those were, I kind of went to a pretty good range of places, I'd say. But yeah, it was hostel experience. We basically did hostels for everything. So I feel like that's a great way to kind of just like really meet people that are also traveling and also not spend too much money. So but we did get ourselves into some pretty funny situations that way.
See, the reason I asked is if you guys have any interesting short stories you'd like to share about your time.
I did in Iceland. We did get to snorkel between tectonic plates, which was really amazing. That was a lot of money, but it was so worth it. And yeah, you could just drink the glacial water.
Oh my gosh,
it was great. And it was
between the tectonic plates?
Yeah, so it's like kind of this crack in the earth, and then there's glacial water glacial water in the middle of that. So it was super deep, super cold. But we put dry suit and wetsuit, and then we did that. And I also ate fermented shark in Iceland, which was pretty crazy.
Nice.
Wow. Huh. Yeah. I guess a similar crazy experience would be the time we got to go fishing with Senegalese fishers. It was one of my favorite days. Like I just think about it and I start laughing because it was just so wild. Like we got to go, and so every time we got on a boat in Senegal, they're called pirogues. They're these like little wooden boats, and Senegalese fishers, they bring them out miles and miles and miles into the ocean. We went off the coast maybe 4 kilometers or something. We were still super close, but we all got seasick. It was just it was the funniest experience. We were fishing, and the fishing there's different. They don't have fishing poles. You fish with fishing line that has a rock attached to it and also a hook, and you drop it until it like goes to the bottom, and then you just bring it back up and you have a fish maybe. And so that was a super crazy experience, especially because someone who was fishing with us like jumped off the boat and went snorkeling to get mussels, and then we all got back on the beach and we ate our fresh fish and the fresh mussels, and it was the best meal any of us ever had there. We still said there's this picture of all this fish like that's grilled, and we all think about it all the time because it was so good. So that was a crazy day, but it was really fun. Yeah.
So Katie, you're one of the few programs that has host families, well, not even as an option, as the only option.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and what navigating that situation is like.
Okay. So everyone lived in a host family, not just me. Even our professor who went with us lived in a host family. So everyone is fully immersed in the culture. Host families can be very different though. Before we went abroad, we filled out a survey, and we talked about who we were as people, what kind of a host family we were looking towards, what kind of family we have at home, so that it could kind of be similar to an experience. But of course it wasn't, because it's just so different. And something that was interesting about this year is that every single person who went abroad, except for one, had another Lawrence student living with them in their host family. So if Carolyn's watching this, she lived with me. We had a time. It wasn't always easy living in a host family. I specifically know that my host family situation was a little different than a lot of the other students that went. And before you go, they tell you you're going to get super close to your host family and you're going to know them super well. And I got really close to one person in my host family, but my host mother I didn't get to know very well because she was older and a little sick. And so she was just kind of not interactive with the students. But we got to know our host sister very well, Sienna. She was a 6-year-old. And so something that was a little challenging about that is that she didn't really understand boundaries of, when we were wanting to study and maybe have alone time in our rooms. So that was a little difficult. I mean, I have siblings, but my siblings are like my age. I've never had a little sibling like that. So that was really different and a little challenging to adjust to. But you work through it. You go to school a little more earlier. You stay later sometimes if you need to get stuff done. So that was probably the most challenging part of the host family. For me, was just adjusting to having a little sibling that's wanting to annoy you, because that's what little siblings do. But I mean, it was an overall good experience. The food was really good. Carolyn and I still talk about the eggs we ate at our host family all the time, because they were amazing. I've never loved an egg as much as I have when I was in Senegal. Even though we lived in the same house, each of us had our own separate bedroom, and we were really lucky too, because we each had our own bathroom as well. Wow. That was not the same for many other people. I know Sophia, your friend, she shared a bathroom with her whole family, and she had like 10 people living in her house or something crazy like that. Yeah. So that was, I mean, it's really different based on who you're placed with, how old the kids are, how much your host family hosts students, because some people just do it all the time. They always have host students coming in and out. There were some people in our program that had other host students from other schools also in their house, because they would have like 4 students. So it's really different depending on who you're placed with, but I don't know, you learn to adjust, and it's fine. And it's good. And I still am in contact with my host family. Carolyn and I were just Snapchatting Sienna yesterday. So, so yeah, and I do miss them. So yeah. So it was an overall good experience. A little hard to adjust to though.
And did you like that there was another Lawrence student living with
I did.
You? Yeah.
I really liked it, because then it made me feel like a little more sane. If I thought something weird happened, I could look at Carolyn and we would both be like, what? Or, if something happened that we needed to talk to our professor about, we could go together and, talk to her, and it wasn't just one of us. So yeah.
Nice.
I liked it.
Very cool. And then something that I've talked to several London Center folks about over the last year or so is how different the housing situation is there compared to here at Lawrence. So I thought maybe you could talk a little bit about how you managed that as well.
So at the London Center, we get flats, and they're about 3 flats per group, and pretty small spaces. So you're sharing a bedroom with 1 or 2 other people usually. So it does get quite cramped, but they are very nice buildings. But yeah, you're basically constantly with other students. So it does get a lot sometimes, but you really have to find ways to kind of go on your own and explore places. So a lot of your alone time will be in the city by yourself, if you want to get out of your apartment, which you should, because you shouldn't be in your flat. If you're in London, you should be exploring. But yeah, it was the first term I personally lived with some very close friends, so it was pretty easy. We split our groceries evenly, and yeah, it went very smoothly. But then the second term, I didn't know who I was living with as well, so I did do everything individually. But yeah, nice kitchen. We all cooked together, which is kind of a fun communal experience.
Mhm.
So the flats are set up very well for community, so hanging out with each other, which is great because you kind of do really depend on each other when you're abroad like that. So you get really close to the people you're living in with because it's such close proximity. But yeah, cooking. We did a lot of group meals, which was a great way to bond. And yeah, the only annoying part is that groceries you can't buy in bulk there, so you're constantly going to the grocery store um, to buy your food, and yeah, it's it's a little bit of a pain because everything goes bad so fast. But there are grocery stores everywhere, so it's great. But yeah, so definitely built for interacting with one another. But, yeah.
And do you have any say in who you share a flat with when you go, or do you just randomly get placed?
You can request who you'd like to live with. I requested my close friends, and I luckily did get to live with them. I think most times people usually get their way. I know Lee, the program coordinator there, is really, really good about listening to everyone and their preferences. But sometimes it doesn't always work out the way you'd want it to. So and because there are about 2 bedrooms in each flat, you can't really control everyone you're living with. You can really only control who you're sleeping in a bedroom with. So but besides that, I think there's usually an all women's flat, so just to make sure there's that space. But besides that, it's kind of out of your hands.
So thinking on your whole experience abroad, what do you think is one of the most valuable things that you got out of your time abroad?
I feel like that I'm overall a lot more independent and I kind of felt like I was a little more of a lazy or lethargic person before in a way. Like like oh, I did this one thing today, I don't want to do anything else. But the way London is set up is you're really going, 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 and that kind of geared me now. So I have a lot more motivation and everything because you'd have field trips back to back to back. And I feel like now I have a lot more energy from just having that whole experience. Now I'm ready to keep going with a lot of things that I do now. So yeah, I feel a lot more motivated as a person after coming back from London.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, on our last day in Senegal, we had this discussion about, what we've learned abroad and how we felt we'd changed, because you do change a lot going to Senegal. I mean, it's so different from here that it would be kind of impossible not to. And I remember what I said, and what I still feel to this day, is that I think I'm a lot braver than I was before I went abroad. There's so many things I just had to figure out when I was there that I never thought about having to figure out. And I really just learned, like, we always talk about now, me and the students who came back, how everything, it's not that deep. You can do something and it's fine.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be scary, and it's okay. And so I think that's really valuable. It makes me more confident. I feel like I can do anything. It's awesome. Yeah.
No, I totally agree on that front. It was like after you spend 5 months in a place that you have no idea where you're at, you don't speak the language. Like you might have spoken the language.
I might have spoken the language, but not all of them.
Enough that you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill it here.
Yeah.
And then you come back to Appleton and you're like, actually, anything handed to me.
I can just do it. It's fine.
Like,
yeah.
None of this is that big of a deal.
No, nothing is that big of a deal. And so I'm really happy that I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
And it just makes like life way more fun too.
Right.
When you're just like, whatever, I can do that. It's not that big of a deal. So
yeah. Studying abroad is kind of full of highs and lows as you go through that experience. And there are good days, there are bad days, and we all know it. Do you guys have any particular highs, but also just as importantly, particular lows, and how you manage through that? Because I think sometimes people are like, when things go bad and you don't have that support system, they're like, I don't think I can manage this, but I think most can.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any insight on how you handled that.
I think having London Center, other Lawrence students there was a great help for me, but I did have a hard time because I stayed for 2 terms when the first group left, and the second group came, it was kind of a very odd change because I was used to living in the same space with the same people, and then I was living in the same space but with completely different people. So it was really kind of a tough experience to transition and to kind of be there when all of them were learning about London, and I felt kind of like, oh, like I've already done this, but I felt kind of sad that the other group left. But it ended up being amazing, and I love them all so much. But that was a hard transition period for me.
Yeah. And how did you sort of get over that and deal with that?
I just started talking to people in my group. I just really kind of went for it and I wasn't secluded, I know. So I tried to really interact with people. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think one of the harder moments for me abroad, someone in my family was sick, and so I found that out when I was abroad, and so that was a little challenging to deal with because if I were here, I could just like drive home and be there when my whole family was there, and stuff like that. So that was definitely harder. I mean, I called my family all the time when that was going on, and luckily everything ended up being just fine. But that it was like the second week I was there or something, and it really freaked me out because of course it does. You never want someone you love to be sick. So that was definitely a low for me. But again, I similar to Clara, like I could lean on the people in my program. I talked to my professor about it, and yeah, you're still able to call home, and that helped. But as for like actual challenges there, I guess one of the lows I can think about is the car situation in Senegal. There isn't air conditioning in the cars, and sometimes that's a little rough. You just kind of get used to it. There's nothing you can really do. You just adjust, and it's okay. The first weekend was the hardest, and then it's okay. Yeah, it's hot there.
I imagine that in the spring it's particularly warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hot, but it's not humid yet until June. But then it starts getting humid, and then we leave. Thank goodness, because when it gets humid, it's already hot, and then it gets humid, and it's like so much worse. So luckily, you're only like the first week of June, so we didn't really get into when it rained, which is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, would either of you consider independently, outside of studying abroad, going back to where you studied abroad?
Yes. Yeah. Me and the other students from Senegal are like, we all have to go back together. And we just need to have fun and just, explore more. Not that we didn't explore a lot, but we want to go back to places that we had a lot of fun at. And,
yeah.
Oh, I definitely want to go back to London. And yeah, I don't know. I'm still debating if I'd want to even live there one day. So, I do miss it dearly. So, I mean, after coming back, I think about London all the time, and all of the people that I went to London with were constantly thinking about London. It's just always there, and it's always going to be in the back of our heads.
Yeah.
So
for us.
Yeah, exactly. It's just such a big life-changing experience that's never going to leave you. But yeah, I hope to find my way back there someday. So
nice.
Me too.
And how is your guys' first term back at Lawrence going for you so far?
It's good. I mean, I'm in my senior year. We're in capstone together, so that's one thing. But I mean, so far so good. I feel like I'm in a good place, hopefully, with my things. And again, as I said, I feel like I can really tackle anything. So even though I might feel busier than I usually am at the Lawrence campus, I don't think I'm as busy as I was with all my traveling when I was abroad. So it's actually just fine. Yeah.
I also feel the same. I feel like I was so busy in London that now coming back to Appleton, I'm trying to fill all of my time with different things because, I don't know, I was so used to just constantly moving and everything. But it's been good. I love my classes. They're, I'm doing a lot of art history things now. So, but it's been really nice to be back, actually. I kind of missed Appleton, which kind of feels weird, but I'm very glad to kind of be back in home base. So because I left November for break, and then I came back the following fall, so I was gone for a really, really long time. So
and then if people are interested, like in your guys' programs, kind of what person are they tailored toward? Like, if you could create like an ideal person to go on the Senegal program, like what things do they like? What are they expecting out of this? Like, who is this program for?
Okay. Well, I feel like you kind of have to have some interest in the French language because that's such a big part of being there. But it's also a really good program for people who are interested in music and dance. We all chose a Senegalese instrument to play. So I played the djembe, which is a drum, with 4 other students. And then there was also the kora, which is like a stringed Senegalese instrument. And so we all got to learn those instruments. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in African dance at all, we all took a dance class together too, which was really cool. And then I would just say someone who's ready for adventure. You know, there's so much that's just crazy about it there. You kind of just have to be ready for whatever punch is thrown at you. And so, yeah.
Nice.
For London, I'd say definitely someone interested in the arts. Music is a big thing. Just really, a lot of the classes are very humanities based. So if you're really into any like literature, anything kind of like more themed, like England, like themed. It's just like but I do know a lot of STEM people that did end up going, and they loved it. So really, you do not need to be a humanities major to go to London. You can be anything as long as it fits in your schedule. So it's really for everyone, and you'll, as long as you enjoy learning about a new culture, you'll love it there.
Yeah, and I should mention the same thing. You do not have to be a French major to go to Senegal, but you can be if you want. So there's a lot of requirements that get filled by going because every class counts as a French class. So it's really up to you, but it's really for any student interested in West African culture and everything going on there.
Yes, and I will also add that both of these programs are excellent for people who have restrictions that require them to be on the Lawrence University calendar.
Yes.
Because all of our other programs, unfortunately, operate on semester basis. And so you'll be there for times that are not Lawrence educational times. So if you're on a sports team, if you're in the con, if you've got something that you like need to know exactly where you're going to be during the difference between like winter and spring term, these are great programs for you because they are also 10-week programs.
Yep. So
they transfer really easily to very busy people who have a lot of intense scheduling conflicts. So on that note, I normally give people an opportunity to shout out the things that they're doing, but this time I'm going to caveat, do you guys have anything interesting coming off campus programs wise first?
Yes. So I was actually just doing this before our beautiful podcast episode. I'm going to classes next week to present on the Senegal program, and then I'm having a bunch of events.
Very
Senegal
fun.
events. So there will be a Senegalese tea party. One of the really cool things that when we were there, Pop Samba, who is our cultural guide, he made us a taya, which is a Senegalese tea 3 times every single day, and he would bring it to us, and he was just so sweet. So we're going to have a little tea party. We're also going to have a Senegalese movie night, and then there will be a pizza lunch for an info session as well. So look out for flyers about that. I was just finishing up the posters and getting all those rooms today. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Claire?
I'm currently planning a London week, which will be in winter term. So it'll be just 1 week full of a bunch of events. I think we're going to try to do a movie night, trivia, some helpful info sessions for writing applications. And so, currently planning that. So be on the lookout.
Keep our eyes peeled for both of those things. Do you guys have any other things you'd like to shout out? Because I will let you also do that. But you don't have to if you can't think of anything.
I don't think so.
No, no.
All right. Well, with that, thank you guys for joining me. I was so grateful to hear about your experiences. And we'll catch you next time on Beyond Borders.